Okay, we're going to set up our software for our control box. So now I already have my control box plugged in. Now, if you have a wireless box, you'll have to plug in your dongle, or if you have a wired box, you'll plug in your actual USB cord right to your computer. Now, I already have that plugged in, so I'm going to go ahead and open up Roxer Golf. Now, if you already have Roxer Golf opened from when you downloaded it and then plug your box in, it may not find it, so you may have to close it out and then reopen it back up. So over here on the left, we have our profiles. Now you'll probably see profile 1, profile 2, profile 3, but I have renamed this one to TGC 2019. I'll show you how I did that. We're going to choose it, choose rename, and then we'll capitalize it now, TGC 2019. Click enter. Okay, so this area over here is our different profiles. Let's say, for example, that I have TGC 2019 and I have regular TGC. So I'm going to add a new profile, and we're going to rename it to TGC. Enter. Now over here is where we set up our functions for our box. So what we've got to do first is we got to click Add Binding, and that'll give us this line. On this line is where we set up the box button, what that box button does, and then we can make a note over here if we want to remember what exactly this is. So for example, we're going to start off with our aiming left and right. So what we got to do is click on this box button. Now if you see how this red bar comes up, that means that the computer is looking for you to give it some sort of input, which means you either need to be clicking your control box or choosing what you want that function to be. So click off of it again and it'll unselect it there. So what we got to do now is choose box button, and then we go to our control box, and I'm going to hit left. All right, so that is the computer finding the left button on the box. Now we got to go over here to make button, and we're going to make this button do something. What do we want it to do? We're going to right click on it. We're going to go down to TGC 2019. We're going to hit aim left. Now this already says left in it, but let's say we make a little note over here and say aim left. And you don't have to have notes if you don't want to. That's just for you. It's easier when you get to club up and club down, and you'll see why. So now we got to add binding, and then we come down to this next line 10 here. We got to choose it. Now, if you stay on this line and try to click on stuff, it could throw it off. So you want to make sure you're on the line that you're working on here. So now I'm going to choose box, or I'm going to click box button and click right on my box, and then go over to make button, TGC 2019. Aim right. And then we're going to click add binding again. Come on down here, choose box button, and I'm going to click mulligan on my box. Come over here to make button, TGC 2019, mulligan. Add binding, box button, scout. Come down here, TGC 2019 to scout. Add binding, box button, club up. Now I have a prototype box that only has 6 buttons on it, so I don't have as many options as you probably have. So what was I doing? Club up. So there's club up. So see over here you have Q and X. That could be confusing if you're trying to remember what this is. So we'll choose in scout, or we'll type in scout here. Then we'll come down here and type in club up. And this is our mulligan. So what that's showing is when I push this button on my box, it's going to make this function happen in TGC 2019. So like for mulligan, it's going to hit escape for you. It's going to hit down, down, and enter. And it's going to time, it's already been pre-timed out for you. So it doesn't automatically just go escape, down, down, enter. That won't work. It's got to hit escape. It waits a few seconds, about a half a second actually, and then about a half a second between each command. And we'll go through that and you'll see. Now, if you notice there, I set all that up under TGC, not TGC 2019, as I was supposed to, so that's no big deal. We'll just we'll rename this one TGC, and then we'll rename this one to TGC 2019. There we go. Now this one should be empty. Yeah, we haven't done that one yet. So now the only difference between TGC and TGC 2019 is the mulligan button. So to show you that, add binding, box button, choose mulligan on our box, right click, go down to TGC, and then mulligan. And if you notice, it only has 1 down command instead of 2. So come over here, we'll put mulligan. Okay, so now our box is set up, There's really nothing else we have to do. We just have to make sure this is running in the background. Now, there's more functions that we can get into along the way and make this do more things, but that'll be in a different video. So now let's minimize this, minimize that. Okay, so now we're going to go open up TGC 2019. So there's a couple things we got to do. One, go ahead and close out your Rocks or Golf program. And two is we either have to turn our box off, unplug the wire, or unplug the dongle. Now, there's actually another option you can do. You can go to your device manager right here. Now, if you just search device manager, comes up, looks like this. Go ahead and close that one out. You can choose. Now, this is probably best for people that have wired boxes. Most people now have the boxes with the on and off switch, so this is a little bit easier, but if you want to do it this way, you can. So you want to go up here to View and choose Devices by Container. Go down to Generic USB. Click that little arrow there. Choose this top one, HID Compliant Game Controller, and click Disable Device, and then Yes. Okay. So now the reason why we have to do that is TGC will think that your box is an Xbox controller, and it will mess up the profiles, and it'll cause buttons to do different things, and it's kind of a headache. So go ahead and open up TGC now. And turning this off is just an easy way to get around it. If I can come up with another way, I'll let everybody know. But as for now, this is the way you got to do it. Now, I don't ever unplug my TGC. I don't ever shut down my TGC, so I don't ever even have to unplug my box. But for people out there that have setups that shut them down every day, or somebody else uses a computer and closes it, this is something you'll have to do. Let me go ahead and turn off my reshade. And I'll show you something here. All right, so when we get to this screen, you see that little black square bar down there that says Enter and Continue. That's good. That means that the computer does not know we have our box plugged in. So whether you turned it off, unplugged it, or used the device manager option, the computer doesn't know that it's plugged in, and that's what we want. If you see a black circle with an A in the middle, that means that it thinks your box is plugged in, and most likely it is plugged in. And you'll have to X back out of TGC 2019, close out your Rocks or Golf, close out your, you won't have to close out of it. You can close out your Rocks or Golf and unplug your box or turn it off. So we're going to click Enter. Okay, now we're at the main menu. Let me go ahead and just open up some sort of whatever's match we got going here. I'm going to hit the Windows key. It looks like the little square Windows icon on your keyboard. That'll bring up your taskbar down here, and we're going to open up Rocks or Golf. Oh, actually, let's go to Device Manager first. If you did it this way, if not, just turn your box back on right now. But basically, that's what I'm doing, is turning the box back on. I'm going to enable it. Okay, minimize that. Hit the Windows icon again, and we're going to type in Rocks or Golf. Shortcut. We're going to bring up the program. Now we got to choose the right profile for what game we're playing, TGC 2019. And there's all our saved items that we had. Now we got to do is minimize this, and that's it. So let me go ahead and grab my box. Now I'll hit left first, and there you can see it's moving left. I'll hold down right, and you can see it's moving right. And I'm going to hit Scout now, which will zoom in. And then I'll hit Club Up, and you'll see that it's changing the club. And then I won't hit mulligan yet because I'm getting zoom back out. I'll hit my map button. You can see the map. Or did I set up map for this one? I didn't, but now's a good time to do it. Let's go ahead and go back in. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I not set up map? No, I didn't. Yep, because there's only 2. Okay, so we're going to hit Add Binding. Click on Box button. I'll click my map button. Right click. Go down to Map. Go ahead and type it in so I don't forget what that is. All right, and minimize it. Click back into the game. Now we'll hit that button, and we should see the map. There we go. There's our map. All right, so let me hit a ball. And then we'll try out our mulligan button. Now, when I hit this, I'm going to have to make sure that I don't get it on the green because it'll do an auto putt. So let me aim over here and just do like a little chip into these trees. Okay, so I hit my shot. Maybe. There we go. All right, so obviously that was awful, but that's what we wanted. So now I'm going to hit mulligan on my box, and we should see it go through all the steps that it needs to give us a mulligan. I just hit it. All right, so that's the computer working by itself. I haven't touched anything. So we're good to go.